Greetings, this is Tyrola Femi, your goddess guru, here to bring a word of inspiration to assist you on your path to self-realization, knowing the truth of who you are, and just completely experiencing your expansive self, as well as self-mastery, where we are able to master our lessons, our gifts, and our talents. And so today I would like to talk about the concept of dark forces, negative energies. I am very sensitive to energy. I have always been extremely sensitive to energy, and so I tend to put myself in a place where I can feel safe and feel good, because negative energy, it's just like, it bothers me or whatever. So for a long time, I have, to a certain degree, rejected when people talk about, spirits, dark energies attaching to human beings, and these dark forces that are like out to get us. I'm like, the only way I could really deal with that is just say it's not true. And I say all the time, just because we think something isn't true doesn't mean that's the case. And so I read a book. I cannot remember the name of this book. I loaned it out to somebody, so I haven't seen the title in a number of years. But it was written, sort of written, by a judge who was on the other side. And so what it's called is like forced writing or something like that. People talk about clairvoyance, clairsentience, these abilities to see beyond the physical. And so this is one of those type of things where someone who doesn't have a body wants to write something, and they write it through a person who does have a body. But it's like the person, like if I'm doing this, gets in a super relaxed state, and this energy is able to like work through me and use my hands or whatever. So, this book was about like something from the other side. Let's say like Tales from the Other Side, something like that. And so it was this judge that was speaking from the other side through this writing, and basically telling what happens once you get to the other side, giving us an insider view of what goes on over there. For me, when I read this book, it made so much sense. So, he talked about, a number of things, but something that stood out for me was he talked about how humans, or people, souls in a body, can have a spiritual immunity that is so low that an entity can attach to that person. Now, if I don't want to misquote this book, so I'm just giving it the way I think I remember it, because I'm a stickler on like quoting stuff the right way or as it is. But anyway, what I remember was he was talking about how these dark energies use addiction to feed themselves. And at that time, it made a lot of sense to me, because I was struggling with my own addiction, food. It's a difficult addiction, son of a gun. And how do I move past this compulsive overeating issue that I was having at the time? And so this really stood out to me. He was talking about how he saw, because he was just like traveling all over, checking out what people were doing, once they came back to that side, or those who had been on the other side and waiting to come into a body, waiting their turn, and the kinds of things that they were doing. And he talked about this one guy that he saw who apparently had a spiritual immunity system, like it was a spiritual immunity problem. And this guy had an addiction, and this energy had attached to him. And so it appeared as if the man had this super duper drive to drink, when really it was this energy that was attached to him that needed to get amped up. You know, when these dark energies hang around us, it's like they suck up our energy. Now, I have talked about dark decease because I do believe our ancestors hang out around us. I have sensed my own ancestors, those of light, and those who are what we call dark deceased, which means they're stuck. I've always sort of bought into, because this is what I was taught, and I just started looking at it in my own life, and I'm like, you know what, I do believe this is what's happening. When you are of light, then they hang out with us because they're trying to get their own juice, their own energy. It's like they have to feed off of our energy. But because they're dark, what ends up happening is we start doing things like what they were doing. So, like, if you have stinking thinking, it may have been because that dark deceased had stinking thinking. You might typically be a stinking thinker. And the thing about dark deceased is when they show up, they're showing us where we need to fix ourselves so that we don't become dark deceased. But it's like it gets amplified when they're hanging around us. And so, just in case you need to know this, we don't have to live with these dark energies. We can tell them, go on somewhere, leave. Okay? If a stranger walks in your house, you're going to just let them walk in? No. You say, bye, you got to go. I did not invite you here. So you just say, I send you on your way with light and love towards your healing. Okay. So, you know, I've always sort of subscribed to that. So when this man was talking about how this energy, he could see it attaching to this man, and that was driving the alcoholism, because this energy was like needing to feed itself. It's like feeding off that man's life force energy. I thought, wow, okay, I can see how that would be. It was enlightening. And so that was a number of years ago. And time has passed. And I have wondered, why am I stuck in certain areas of my life? I should not be stuck so long in certain areas. And I started to realize, you know, we think of The Exorcist, and we watch all these shows and brainwashing Hollywood, and I'm a victim of them. So I'm not putting you down if you watch these movies, but we, you know, Hollywood brainwashes us into thinking this is, you know, these evil energies, and this is how they look and all that kind of good stuff. And you're going to see them walking through the graveyard at night, and the zombies and all that stuff. You know, we think these dark energies look a particular way that we can identify them. But I'm starting to realize that these dark energies are sly, they're cunning, and they know how to get us. The first one I began to address, as I began to say, you know what, I do believe that there are dark energies that attach themselves to people. I used to just be like, I'm sorry, I don't believe that, because that's just scary to me. But then I started thinking, what's tripping me up in my life? Worry. You see, these dark energies, they're showing up in our lives, and we think we need a pill. Now, okay, some people are chemically imbalanced. Go get you a pill. Okay, go to your psychologist, your psychiatrist, and get you something for that. But for a lot of us, we're sitting around, we're worried, and the worry trips us up. We worry so much, we're not doing anything about the problem. We just keep worrying. And you get to a point where if you're not worried, you don't even feel right. So you have to find something to worry about. Depression is another one that I have dealt with. It's very depressed. Year after year, I'm looking at my life. I'm like, what the crap do I have to be depressed about? I'm so confused. Yes. We all have wounding and, you know, different things like that we have to heal from past experiences. I get that. But at some point, we should be able to get up out that, okay? And I started saying, you know what? I feel like the worry and the depression are like a living, breathing entity within me. Like they're a force. For some people, it may be anger. Now, anger has not been something that I have dealt with a whole lot because I was too busy being depressed. Most of us depressed people are just really pissed off. So we stuff our anger. But the ones that, you know, need to get that anger fix, and I've been there at, you know, different parts of my life where it's like I gotta be angry, and it's like, whoa, I feel good when I'm angry, you know. That's another one. It is any number of feelings and emotions that we can have. But my thing is that these dark energies are tripping us up because they know we're expecting them to show up in some big black cape, or, you know, like I said, looking like a zombie in the middle of the night. And I say, they're called the Ajogun in Ifa. In Islam, they're called, oh, my friend used to call these names out. If it comes to me, I'll tell you. But it's these dark energies that people talk about. And I'm just trying to say to you, maybe you're not depressed. Maybe your spiritual immunity has gotten so low that a negative force has attached to you. Not because you're a bad person, but because it could. Your spiritual immunity was low. It needs some energy. And so it's attaching to you. And the way it feeds itself is through like this driving depression, this spirit of worry, this anger. You have to ask yourself, is it really yours, or is it something else that maybe is, you know, how do I describe it? Well, the way I felt it when I really started looking at it was I just felt like the energy attaching itself to me hid behind the depression. It hid behind the worry because I wouldn't see it. Because I'm so focused on feeling worried and depressed. So I don't see it. And so it hides there. As it, through the worry and the depression, it sucks my life force out of me. And then I stay so worried and so depressed that I don't get anything done, which just keeps me there. And a lot of times when we're worried and depressed, we're not doing a whole lot to improve our lives. And therefore our spiritual immunity stays low. And when we keep the spiritual immunity low, the next thing you know, there it goes. Sucking it out of us. Sucking it, sucking our life force out of us. And it just keeps us stuck. It keeps us stuck. And some of it is habit. Don't get me wrong. You know, I had to really get clear about what was what. How much is it habit? I'm in the habit of being worry-wart. We see our parents worry. We see lots of people be depressed, sad and down. And so we start picking up these habits. To me, the habit is actually sort of easy to break, because once you make up your mind, you're not going to be a certain way anymore. You're not. So I had to differentiate the habit from, this is beyond habit. This is something else, and it's creating such a bad problem in my life that it's creating more problems. And so once we begin to spiritually improve ourselves and get healthy in our spirit, this is why we must have our daily spiritual practices, because it helps to keep us boosted, keeps your spiritual immunity boosted. And so something that detaches to you, I mean, it's almost like you can't even grab a hold of it, because spiritually you're tanked up and you're healthy and you can shake it off. Like if you start feeling it, you know how to shake it off. You know how to do those things that help you to get centered. And so these energies cannot attach to us. Why do these energies attach to us? Like I said, it's not because we're bad people. It's just because they can. I'm not a conspiracy theory person. I don't all the time feel that anything is really out to get me. However, you know, if you're trying to help people become better, if you're doing something that's going to better people to the point where they have a high spiritual immunity, then these energies might just have a problem of making it. Now, I'm telling you, I don't know the whole big picture of dark energies, because I believe there's the one. And so, you know, maybe these things were created so we know contrast. I don't know. I just believe in one reality, and that is, you know, the divine consciousness, so-called God. And that's the ultimate reality. Everything else is a manifestation of God, even these dark energies. And so, but I don't know the full story of them. I'm just trying to tell you that right now. What I'm telling you is we can do something about it. We can do something about it. And part of the why might be, I don't know, but might be, excuse me, I don't know for certain, that there is nothing, they won't have anyone to suck off of if we're all spiritually healthy and immune. I mean, that's enough reason for me to just share the, you know, light and positivity, and that might be reason enough for them to say, oh, she's got a light. Now, I'm not putting myself up on a pedestal. I'm just using me as an example, you know. Oh, she's got a light. And we see a hole there, though. We know that she has come to help people do better and feel better about themselves, but we see something has created a hole in her. And so they want to suck my light, and that stops me from doing what I'm supposed to do. And I mean, if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then some other people are going to be suffering as a result of it, and they got some more people to suck their energy off of. That's a theory. What I know is that we can do something about this. That maybe, I'm just making this as a proposal. This is my truth. That worry and depression and anger, other problematic emotions and ways of thinking, stinking thinking, that's another one for me. Stinking thinking. Really and truly have been due to me having spiritual immunity problems. And having these energies say, hey, she's got a spiritual immunity problem. She's bait. She's fair game. Let's go suck it off of her. And the way they hide themselves is they cover up, you know, in these different emotions, which are not all that bad. You know, if you're walking around killing people, folks are going to be like, oh, that person's evil. If you know, you're just recklessly killing people, folks are like, oh my gosh, that person's evil. We've got to do something about it. But if all you are is a little bit worried and depressed, you're not going to be given too hard of a time about that. And so it's a really easy way for these dark energies to stay alive by hiding behind those. And so I encourage you to get up and do your spiritual work, even when they make you. I have been so depressed. I move it like this. I can barely move and get myself going. I feel so just you want me to get up and do my spiritual work. I mean, I have been that depressed. I know it's not easy when you're feeling down, when you're angry. And it's like the anger can just make you just want to sit there, because you know you might end up completely wrecking a room. I know what it's like to have to take those first steps, because that thing is on you. That depression and that worry and that stinking thinking and the past, and, you know, just keeping your mind foggy. And it just sucks and sucks and sucks while you're just like, oh, I can barely function. But it just really goes back to what I say in so many cases. This is what Shango teaches. You just got to choose it. You got to say, I'm getting up and I'm doing this thing. You got to have that Ogun energy about you. You have to say, you know what? I'm going to die living an honorable life. I used to watch Star Trek. Worf. At least my death will be honorable if I get my butt up and make my life better. I'm going to die either way. I'd rather die at least attempting to live better. So it's not a magic elixir. You're powerful beyond measure. This is why I talk about self-realization. When you don't know who you are, it's so easy for that negative energy to stay attached to you. Because you're like, I'm just nothing. I'm nobody. I can't do anything. And I'm so depressed. And next thing you know, we're having problems in our life. We don't have a support system. I mean, it's just like it goes downhill, downhill, downhill. Or, God forbid, we get addiction. That's another way. I talked about that in the beginning. And so, it really just takes you saying, I got to fight for my life because I'm worth it. And the part of the way you do that is you listen to spiritual teachings. You listen to people who are positive, say positive things to you. So as the negative energy sucks it off of you, you have that positivity coming into you and it starts waking you up. It starts waking you up. You start coming into the truth of who and what you are. And next thing you know, you're up and you're doing your best to work your spiritual practices, to be positive, to live in alignment with your destiny. And you're getting stronger and stronger. And it's like all that positive energy that's coming in, it starts acting like an antibiotic. It just slowly but surely. But this is a specific antibiotic. It don't kill everything inside, not the positivity. It starts killing that or removing the energy of that dark spirit in you. The more you allow it to come in. See, that dark spirit, it's like, block that all out, baby. We don't want to hear any of that. And that's how we find ourselves sitting in a bar with some people that are as pitiful and pathetic as we are. Sitting around the kitchen table with our friends having ridiculous pity parties and in relationships with people who don't give. I mean, they just don't care about us whatsoever. And that dark energy, it's like, yeah, we got a good thing going on. I've even known people after a while, they realize, I got a relationship with my worry. I love my worry. I love my depression. I love my anger. I love my chaotic mind. It's all I know. And so, once you start saying, I'm making a decision to live better, and you start feeding all that positivity into you, slowly but surely, that dark energy, it's going to slip away. It cannot stay because it's vibrationally different from positivity, from spiritual health and immunity, from mental and emotional health. It is vibrationally different. It cannot stay in you when you begin to raise yourself vibrationally. And in the end, we give thanks because when you've been in the pit of hell of your life and then you come out of it, you appreciate the small things that really matter, that are the true biggies in life, like having peace of mind, having a healthy relationship with our loved ones. You begin to really appreciate breath, the earth, whatever, water. You appreciate just really the basics. And so, I'm making this video because it's been a journey for me. Oh, guess what? I'm still in it. But I'm out far enough that I'm able to talk about where I've come from thus far. I still have a ways to go. But I just feel like I just see so many people struggling. And they think it's them. It's not you. It's not you. Okay, some of it might be you. Okay. I mean, you really have to just make the choice to do it. Now, I'm very real. And I do straight talk. So I'm not letting you off the hook. Your part is making a choice for something different. Your part is know the truth of who and what you are. Stop living according to the lie. Okay? But some of it is maybe, just maybe, you do have a dark energy attached to you that you need to break up with. And the way you're going to do that is your daily spiritual practices, which point you in the direction of self-realization and self-mastery. And so, I wish you peace. I wish you light. I wish you love. I wish you positivity. I wish you happiness. I wish you joy. And I wish for you that you know how wonderful you are, how infinite you are, how whatever problems you have in your life, you can transcend them and just really step into a place of contentment that words cannot even describe. I am Tyra Olafemi, your goddess guru, thanking you for watching this video, and just wishing that you have a wonderful, wonderful day, week, year, lifetime. Please like the video. Please share the video. I am available for divination, personal divination, and I will include a link to my website if you're interested in me giving you a roadmap to assist you on being more spiritually healthy. Thank you so much. Peace and love.